What we're trying to achieve is what we call a visualization drawing, a concept sketches, rough ideas. So what you need to do to start off with is grab your A3 sheet of paper, do some researching. From your researching, you collate different designs and you choose your favourite one. Whichever one's your favourite one, obviously, you paste it in the middle of the page. From this, we're going to come up with some rough designs that you need to incorporate your own twist or style to your drawing. Alright, if you can see carefully, there's 4 points on my page. That's where you would want to start your isometric drawing. For the boys that struggle, I've drawn this cube using a T-square and a set square. And you need to learn how to draw isometric drawings. Isometric drawings are drawings that both sides recede at 30 degrees. Okay, so this is quite neat. I've used a set square and a T-square to establish these lines. This drawing here, and this is what we're trying to help you with, is to avoid using the set square and T-square and try to create an isometric cube freehand. And if you look, these lines run parallel to each other, and so does this line and this line. And these lines just run straight up and down. I'll give you an example where what you shouldn't do. Starting at this point, go across, straight up, straight across. Watch this. I'm drawing a line there, down. Drawing a line there, down. That's what we call a perspective drawing. We don't want that, because if you look, these lines will eventually touch each other. No good. Whereas over here, these lines, like I said earlier, run parallel. Okay? And that's what we call an isometric drawing. Okay. Why do we establish these 4 areas? You've got to come up with some brainstorming, like I said earlier, visualization drawings, concept drawings. So I like this table. We want you to draw within this cube. This is what not to do. From here, you've drawn this cube and you come up with a design that looks like that. Have you utilised this whole cube? No. So what's the purpose of drawing that if you haven't utilised all this space? Let's come over here. I'm going to start this. Freehand is my top. Avoid drawing single lines. Tell me how thick the top is by drawing a second line. Okay, we don't want you to trace or copy that design. From this, come up with your own concept. I'm going to bring this one down and cross. I'm going to have a smaller leg that runs parallel to that line. Bring here. I'm going to place a hole. If you can see there, it's like a frame, picture frame. And this time I'm going to do something a little bit different. Okay, I've utilised all the cube, or the okay, at no stage have I used a rubber. Avoid using a rubber. It's a sketch. Don't worry if it's messy. Okay, from here we'd like you to use a range of colour pencils. I'm going to teach you how to render in. In other words, colouring in, render in. Very lightly shade in or render in the colour. Look at that, I've gone over the line. So what if you're a little bit messy? We'll make it neat towards the end. And then same applies to the edge of the top. Now that I've shaded in lightly, I'm going to start and go over this edge heavier. And I'm pressing quite hard, but as I'm coming towards this edge, I'm slowly backing off the pressure applied to the paper with the colour pencil. I'm trying to create a little bit of depth. Now I'm going to go over here, this line. Same applies to this edge. Hard at the start, then back off. And here, I might even do something a little bit different. Go really, really hard, and then slightly back off. And we're creating what's called visual tactile aesthetics. So making your drawing not just coloured in, but creating depth by using shade and tone. You could almost go to this edge white. I'm going to go over it again now. Over here. Over here. We're trying to avoid, or try to avoid, just doing this, colouring in one flat tone. Try to create depth by gradually getting darker to lighter. That's what we call a roughly, it's a good sketch. It's a concept from that. We haven't copied it identically. Over here, there's some examples where the boy's placed his original idea. Instead of using a round base, he's designed a square. Instead of having a round top, square top. Here he's used different colours. You can see in this drawing there's quite a number of faults. This here, has he gone straight up and down? No. Look at the difference already. Let's look over here. As soon as I apply that line there, that drawing looks a lot better. Okay, here, avoid drawing single lines. Okay, like I said earlier, is that line and this line running parallel to each other? No, because if we continue that line across, eventually they'll touch. That's why that line, or this shape, doesn't look quite right. Here, is that running parallel to that line? No, again, so ideally that should come across here to there, parallel to each other.